Welcome to this presentation on mastering reading comprehension. In today's world, the ability to effectively understand and interpret written information is more crucial than ever. Whether you're a student, a professional, or simply a lifelong learner, strong reading comprehension skills are your key to unlocking knowledge, navigating complex information, and achieving your goals. Over the next few slides, we'll move beyond simply recognizing words. We'll explore a range of proven strategies that will empower you to not only grasp the meaning of a text but also to analyze it critically and apply it effectively in various contexts. So, what exactly is reading comprehension? At its core, it's the ability to go beyond simply decoding words on a page. It's about truly understanding the message the author is conveying. This involves several key elements. Firstly, it's about grasping the main idea, the central point or message that the author wants you to take away. Secondly, it involves identifying the supporting details, the specific facts, examples, and evidence that the author provides to bolster their main idea. Thirdly, it's about understanding the relationships between ideas, how different concepts connect, whether through cause and effect, comparison, contrast, or sequence. Fourthly, reading comprehension requires us to make inferences, to draw logical conclusions or make reasonable judgments based on the information provided, even if it's not explicitly stated. Finally, it involves evaluating the author's purpose and tone, understanding why the author wrote the text and what their attitude is towards the subject matter. Mastering these elements will allow you to engage with any text in a meaningful and insightful way. Reading passages are not all created equal. They come in various forms, each with its own unique characteristics and purpose. When we talk about narrative passages, we're referring to those that tell a story. These passages typically involve elements like a plot, characters, and a sequence of events. Expository passages, on the other hand, aim to inform or explain. You'll often find these in textbooks, articles, and reports, where the author presents facts, concepts, and evidence. Persuasive passages, also known as argumentative passages, seek to convince the reader of a particular point of view. The author will present claims, provide evidence to support those claims, and often address counter-arguments. Descriptive passages focus on creating a vivid picture in the reader's mind. The author uses sensory details to paint a scene or evoke a feeling. Finally, analytical passages involve breaking down information into its constituent parts and examining the relationships between them. Recognizing the type of passage you're dealing with is the first step towards effective comprehension, as it helps you anticipate the author's purpose and the structure of the text. When you encounter reading comprehension questions, it's important to recognize that they're designed to test different aspects of your understanding. Main idea questions will ask you to identify the central point or thesis of the passage. Supporting detail questions will focus on your ability to recall specific information that the author has provided. Inference questions require you to go beyond what is explicitly stated and draw conclusions based on the evidence within the text. Vocabulary questions will test your understanding of the meaning of words or phrases as they are used in context. Questions about the author's purpose ask you to determine why the author wrote the passage, what they were trying to achieve. Author's tone questions require you to identify the author's attitude or feeling towards the subject matter. Finally, questions about structure and organization will test your understanding of how the passage is organized, for example, whether it uses a cause and effect structure, a comparison and contrast structure, or a chronological order. By becoming familiar with these different question types, you'll be better equipped to approach them strategically and efficiently. To maximize your reading comprehension and answer questions accurately, it's helpful to follow a systematic approach. This slide outlines a step-by-step process that can guide you through any reading comprehension task. While it's optional, previewing the questions before you read the passage can give you a sense of what to look for. Then, engage in active reading. This means highlighting key information, jotting down notes, and asking yourself questions as you read. Pay close attention to unfamiliar words and try to understand their meaning from the surrounding context. Once you've read the passage, refer back to the questions. For each question, locate the relevant information in the passage. If you're dealing with multiple choice questions, eliminate the answer choices that are clearly incorrect. Finally, choose the answer that is most directly and comprehensively supported by the text. If time permits, take a moment to double-check your answers to ensure that they are consistent with the passage and that you haven't made any careless errors. In many situations, especially in exams, you'll be working under time constraints. Therefore, effective time management is essential for success in reading comprehension. Start by allocating a specific amount of time to each passage and set of questions. As you work, keep an eye on the clock and pace yourself accordingly. It's crucial to practice answering questions under timed conditions to get a feel for the pressure and to develop your ability to work efficiently. And perhaps most importantly, remember to stay calm and focused. If you encounter a particularly challenging passage or question, don't panic. Take a deep breath, apply the strategies we've discussed, and maintain a positive mindset. To help you master reading comprehension, here are some additional tips and tricks. The first is to read widely and regularly. The more you read, the faster and more efficiently you'll be able to process information. Secondly, make a conscious effort to build your vocabulary. A strong vocabulary is essential for understanding complex texts and nuanced language. Thirdly, familiarize yourself with the different types of questions you'll encounter. The better you understand what's being asked, the more effectively you can target your reading and your answers. Always focus on truly understanding the passage rather than just hunting for keywords. Be aware of common traps, such as answer choices that sound plausible but distort the meaning of the text. Remember to trust the text, base your answers solely on the information provided, and avoid bringing in outside knowledge or assumptions. Finally, avoid overthinking. Sometimes, the most straightforward answer is the correct one. Don't read into the questions or the passage more than is necessary. Prepared by K. Rajendra Prasad.